Hey guys, welcome to Unit 2, Section 4. If blank, then lines are parallel. So what we had learned about in the previous video was if we have parallel lines cut by a transversal, then these 5 statements had to be true. Corresponding angles are congruent, alternate interior, exterior congruent, and then the same side, interior and exterior are supplementary, which remember means adds to 180. Okay, so what we are learning about today is what is called the converse of that. So what does the converse mean? The converse means the if and then parts of a conditional statement are reversed. So before it was if the lines were parallel, then we knew that corresponding angles were congruent. But now we're doing the reverse. If two lines are cut by a transversal and one of those 5 listed up here is true, then the lines are parallel. So this is 5 ways to guarantee that 2 lines are parallel. If 2 lines are cut by a transversal such that we know that any of these 5 is true, then the 2 lines have to be parallel. So basically it's just like reversing the ideas. So here's our first example of how we're going to use this. Find the value of x that makes m parallel to n. So what that is saying is, what is the value of x that would make this angle here have some sort of relationship with this angle here? Well, the first thing is we have to identify what kind of angle pair relationship is this. These are in the same position, top right corner. So these are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, and you can go back up here to the list, corresponding angles are congruent if lines are parallel. So what we want to do is say, all right, in order to prove the lines have to be parallel, or to find the value that would make them parallel, we would set them equal, because in a normal situation, they would be equal to each other. So now we just solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 5, 60 equals 3x, divide by 3, and we get x equals 20. Now that's pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy there. And we don't have to plug it back in. I mean, we can if we want to check it, and we would see that 3 times 20 plus 5 does in fact equal 65. And since corresponding angles are congruent, the lines have to be parallel. So let's try another one here. Find the value of x that makes lines u and v parallel. So first things first, recognize what relationship do you have between the 2 given angles. So this angle and this angle, those are both on the same side because this is our transversal and they fall on the same side as the transversal, and they're both inside. So this is same side interior angles. So we should be thinking same side is supplementary. So same side interior angles are supplementary, which means to find the value that would make these parallel to each other, we would take 130 degrees plus x, and then together they have to add up to be 180. So then we would just subtract 130, and we get x equals 50. So 50 is the value that would make the lines parallel. Now this is our last section here. This is just asking, can you conclude that lines A and B are parallel? Explain why or why not. So here, A and B, and then we have this transversal going through. This arc here is the same as this arc here. That tells us that they are congruent. Those are same side exterior angles. So yes. And then we would say because, or not same side exterior, alternate exterior, alternate exterior angles are congruent. You can actually write the word congruent. I just was using the symbol. Next one, can we justify it for this? So this is corresponding angles because they're both in the same position. And this would be yes, because corresponding angles are congruent. And I'm being lazy using that symbol, but it's fine for right now. Now the last one, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. So these are alternate interior angles because they're both on the inside, opposite sides. Alternate interior does not have to be supplementary. That's only same side. So we don't, like, those two values could be anything and add up to 180. They could be 100. Maybe the measure of angle 1 is 100 and the measure of angle 2 is 80 degrees. Now, technically, they wouldn't be congruent, but they would still add up to 180. So this is not actually enough to prove that the lines are parallel. So this would be no, because we don't know if we can just say angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. We just know that they add up to 180. There's a lot of different combinations that would actually add up to 180. The only combination that would technically prove them congruent would be if both of them were 90. So if both of them were 90, then they would be congruent and supplementary at the same time. That actually would prove that the lines are parallel. But every other instance it wouldn't. So, okay, that's it for the notes. Try the practice problems. Have a good day.